Okay guys, we're up to substitution now. This is where algebra is used. We've got our algebraic formula, which you've been dealing with, and we've had manipulation and we've done stuff with it. This is where we now know a couple of values and we're able to substitute them in. All of a sudden our A or our B is no longer an unknown variable. We've got a value for it and we can substitute it in, and this is where you start solving or evaluating and you start getting numerical answers. Okay, so worked example 10. It says if A equals 4, B equals 2 and C equals minus 7. So we've been given values. So we now know what these things are all equaling. Evaluate the following expressions. Now you'll notice in the paragraph just above it says it can be useful to place any substituted values in brackets when evaluating an expression. Please do that. It will make your life a lot easier. Okay? I'll explain why in a second as we have a look at it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to write down the expression, because like I've said before, a lot of the times your question paper and your answer paper aren't necessarily in the same continent. So let's just write it all down. So the first one, write the expression A minus B. Okay, simple as that, that's all it is. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to write down what we know. Okay, we're going to substitute in. So we've been given A equals 4. So instead of the A, we're going to write 4. I'm going to put it in brackets and it'll make more sense later. Next, we've got B equals 2. So I'm going to put in that. I'm just put the minus in because that's in there, and then I'm going to go B equals 2. So you've now got 4 minus 2. Okay, simplify that and your answer is 2. Okay, the brackets may look confusing at the moment, they'll look less confusing in a couple of seconds. Okay, now we're going to do B. Question B, we're going to write down the, just put it over here. Question B, we're going to write down the expression, which is A cubed plus 9B minus C. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to substitute in. So A, we've already got up there, is 4, so we're going to put in 4, and I'm going to put it in brackets, 4 cubed. We've still got the plus is there, and we've got 9, and I'm going to put it in brackets, 2. Then we've got minus, and I'm going to put C, and don't forget C is minus 7. So once again I put it in brackets, and this is where the brackets come in handy. Okay, so you've got 4 cubed, 4 times 4 is 16 times 4. Oop, I'll do it in red so that it makes more sense so you can see where everything's coming from. Is 64. Okay, then you've got plus 9 times 2, which gives you plus 18. And this is where the brackets are really important. You've got minus 7. Okay, you don't just put the minus 7 because C is minus 7. You also have a minus in the expression. So you've got two negatives next to each other. You guys should remember, if you have two negatives next to each other, it turns into a plus. So you end up with plus 7. That's why the brackets are really handy, because it separates it out and it makes sure that you don't just put minus 7, because if you put minus 7 there, you would have been wrong. So you do that and it works out nicely. Then we end up just adding those up. 64 plus 18 is 82, plus 7 is 89. And that, my friends, is your answer.